It's hard to watch and way out of line with current animal welfare standards. But this 30-year-old Landline footage gives some insight into the depth of loathing towards feral pigs.
You've got the legacy of feral pigs. You'll soon be cursing their ability to wreck the place.
Pigs are increasing, and our country getting real bad. They damage the place, damage the lagoons, and whatever.
It's a battle out there. If landholders are the front line for invasive management, feral pigs are the enemy.
From the hot north of Queensland's Cape York to the chilly southern alpine zones where they root around in delicate waterways, feral pigs are making their mark. Descended mostly from farm animals that have escaped, pigs inhabit around 45% of the continent, costing agriculture well over $100 million in livestock predation and lost crops.
The largest pig we've caught this year is 197 kilos. It's not rare to see pigs over 140 kilos.
They'll eat just about anything. This pig has a gutful of grain.
She's got a big content in there and it's all starting to ferment.
Another feasts on a young kangaroo. And this disturbing photo reveals a Cape York boar with a belly full of baby turtles, reinforcing that in terms of impact on threatened species, pigs are the third worst pest.
You find turtle eggs, freshwater crocodile eggs, frogs. I found up to 303 frogs in one stomach, snakes, lizards, freshwater turtles. I mean, the list goes on.
That's just ruined. Both of them are ruined.
Take a look at this sugarcane plantation. The bare patches are where pigs have barged through, destroying the cane.
We get around 3,000 hectares of cane damage in Queensland. You're going to come up with a figure of, somewhere between $4 and $6 million just in sugarcane. And that's just, the cane's gone. We haven't priced in the extra cost of chemicals to treat the weeds that are popping up through the trash blanket, the environmental damage and water quality issues that are associated with it.
This is a perfect example of a pig wallow.
Cane grower Mario Porter hates what they do to his crop, but the environmental damage hurts more.
As you can see, they're basically degrading the water. You can see the colour of the water beside the actual wallow. It's murky.
Pigs don't really have sweat glands. They've got a few sweat glands in their snout, but other than that, they have to wallow twice a day in the hot weather. And they really affect the waterways, the wetlands and all of that. They dig it up, root it all up, and really affect the habitat.
Different landscape, similar problem. In the high country of New South Wales and Victoria, pigs following the watercourses disturb the fragile environment.
With a pig, the typical is that they actually roll it over. Yeah, 2 prints here, and their snout goes in here and then turns actually the soil over. They're opportunists really, but in this country there's little tubers that they root out and actually eat, as well as little baby witchetty grubs or scarab grubs.
But perhaps the most concerning thing about feral pigs is their potential to transmit disease to livestock, native animals and people.
What we're testing for is leptospirosis and brucellosis, both of which can be transferred to cattle and to people.
Darren Marshall is a feral animal control expert. His mission is to understand the habits of and threats posed by pigs.
A quarter of the pigs around this area had leptospirosis and only about 4% had brucellosis.
Bad enough, both those diseases cause spontaneous abortions, but it's the potential for these ferals to spread foot and mouth disease and African swine fever that's even more of a worry.
Seeing African swine fever, it's massive. It's spreading across the rest of the world really quick, and it's a massive threat to Australia.
Righto, Jay, so we go sorghum and mung beans ago here the last couple of years, and we had them flogged by pigs.
Jason Phillips grows crops near Moree in New South Wales, where farmers are losing hundreds of thousands of dollars to the pigs.
Yeah, we've copped a lot of damage through our winter and summer crops. We sort of estimate that it'd be somewhere in the 200,000 a year that we'd lose to pig damage. We haven't won the war yet. We've had people stay and shoot, we've had helicopters, we've had bait, we've done a lot of things, but we haven't managed to keep the crop damage down.
Some farmers, like Mick Finance, have resorted to fencing the ferals out.
It works out to be roughly around $10,000 a kilometre. We worked out that we'd lost about $120,000 just in that area in the last 10 years. So, you know, an $80,000 fence to be installed now. We've had no damage whatsoever on the inside of that fence, and it's proof to the pudding really that it's actually working.
Baiting and trapping, then shooting, is the most effective method of control. But collecting data is also vital.
This collar will take a GPS point every half an hour, and then every 6 hours it'll transmit up to a satellite and come back to us. It's interesting that he's not necessarily hitting this scrub as much as I thought he might have. Yep. He's using that creek line, obviously, yep. and then using the crop much more than these sort of predominant scrubby hills.
After sedating, collaring, then releasing and tracking 120 pigs, it was surprising to find they didn't travel far.
It's just amazing how far pigs don't move, you know, and the belief that they all travel 30, 40 kilometres a night, it just doesn't seem to be proving true in the sites where I've done this work. Every squiggle that you see moving is an individual pig. They're really creatures of habit. They're just really shooting back and forth. They're going back to key points, and those key points we have to work out what they are in the landscape, because I reckon that's where we need to hit them.
Putting a price on a snout is often demanded by desperate farmers, but evidence from the American state of Tennessee is revealing. When bounties were introduced, populations exploded.
So over 50 years, this is how the population spread. You can see that. Then what happened was they brought in a bounty. Here's what happened in 10 years of the bounty.
It seems when you put a dollar value on a pest, it's not long before they're moved to other areas so people can profit.